In today's cooking class, I'm going to be making a soup called my sweet hottie, and that is my spicy sweet potato soup. It's vegan, it's creamy, yet low calorie. Not only is it nutritious, but it's super delicious as well. I have peeled and sliced about 2 1/4 pounds of sweet potatoes, and I've diced up a couple of onions. I've got here a jalapeno, and I'm not going to use the whole jalapeno. Normally I use a small jalapeno, about this big, so I think I'll just go ahead and use half. I'm going to just mince this up, and I'm going to remove the seed core just with the tip of my knife like that. And I'm just going to run my knife lengthwise along that jalapeno. And then bunch them all together and run it crosswise. I'm just going to pop it into a little bowl. I'm going to chop about a 1/4 cup of fresh dill, and that's going to go in at the very, very end. But I'd like to get it done now, so everything is prepped for me. I'm just going to place my sweet potatoes and my onions by the stove as well, so we can get started cooking up this soup. Now I've preheated my pot over about medium-high heat, and I'm just going to add a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. Into this pot goes my onions. My onions are just beginning to turn opaque, so I'm going to add my spices. I've got about half a teaspoon of chipotle, 1/4 of a teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/4 of a teaspoon of cinnamon. Nice warm spices really add to the flavor of the sweet potatoes. And I'm sauteing them because it brings out the richness of these spices. Pour in my sweet potatoes. And just give them a little stir around the pan. I'm going to add 5 to 6 cups of vegetable broth. Stir that around the top. Toss in the jalapeno that we minced earlier. And I'm going to grate right into the pot about a 1/2 inch of fresh ginger. Give it a quick stir through. About a 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt. Now I'm just going to cover it and let it simmer away until those potatoes are nice and soft. Now we've got to cool this soup down so that we can puree it and add the rest of the ingredients. So I'm going to give you a little trick. I'm going to pour it into a bowl slowly, because I do not want to get splashed with that hot liquid. Give that pot a good shake to get the last little bit of potato out of there. I'm just going to stir that around a little bit just to get it all evenly distributed. Now I'm going to pop this into the freezer for what I call a quick cool. Now it's cool enough to handle, so I'm going to start pureeing it in the blender. This is super, super simple. All you have to do is just carefully scoop your potatoes and broth into the blender. I'm going to fill it about 3/4 of the way full. Give it a little whiz. Now I'm just going to pour that back into the pot. Oh, that color is just gorgeous. I love it. That little bit off the top there. And we're going to do the same thing at least one more time. This soup is so versatile because you can serve it hot or cold. Just going to pour that into the pot. This soup is filled with vitamin A. And it's filled with yumminess too. Okay, I'm gonna take this back to the stove and we're gonna finish it off. Now I am just reheating this soup over about medium heat, giving it a quick stir. And to it, I'm gonna add some luscious creaminess, low-fat coconut milk. Just pour it on in. With coconut milk, you can get creaminess and still keep it vegan. Every once in a while, it's great to have a wonderful vegan dish. And this really ranks as wonderful. This soup is terrific. Give that a stir through. Oh, it just looks absolutely yummy. I'm just gonna give it a little bubble. Now that it's steaming hot, remember that dill we chopped up earlier? Now's the time. In it goes. Get every little piece in. Just love dill with sweet potatoes. Give that a stir through. Now we can turn it off and cover it and it'll stay nice and hot. Let me show you how I love to plate soups. I love putting a pretty napkin on the bottom, and with fall colors like sweet potato soup has a beautiful orangey yellowy fall color. I love a bright pop of color like royal blue. I'm just going to place a nice clear bowl on top, and we're going to give this person a good serving, because this is really low in calories and it's so good for you. It's just antioxidant city and super yummy. That sweetness of the sweet potatoes and that little kick of the jalapeno with the creaminess of the coconut. This is killer good. Just yummy. Look at those great colors. Isn't that fantastic? Thank you for joining me in today's cooking class. If you have any questions about this recipe or any other recipe in our online cooking school, feel free to send me an email at nina@ninacucina.com.